marriage. We told you yesterday about the unique fight underway in a court of appeals in San Francisco. The outcome could have ramifications across the country. Two same-sex couples are suing to end California's ban on same-sex marriage, known as Proposition 8. They argue that Prop 8 violates due process and equal protection rights of gays and lesbians under the U.S. Constitution. One of those couples joins us now from San Francisco for an exclusive interview. Kris Perry, Sandy Stier are lead plaintiffs in the case, Perry versus Schwarzenegger. They've been together for 10 years. They are the parents of 4 boys. Sandy, am I saying your name properly? Stier or Stier?
Yes, you are.
Stier, okay, very good. Thank you for being with us. What a confusing issue. To people not in it as deeply as you are, this is like watching a ping pong match to see what has happened with gay rights to marry in California. What is your feeling on where things stand with yesterday's hearing, this discussion about standing, the fact that you are suing the governor and the lieutenant governor and the attorney general who support the idea of gay marriage in California?
Well, we understand that for most people watching this from outside, it appears to be going back and forth, but really from where we're sitting, it looks like it's moving along in a quite predictable way. For example, our trial was completed less than a year ago, and the district court ruled that Proposition 8 was unconstitutional. And yesterday, only a few months after that ruling, we were able to go to the appellate court and argue that that ruling should be upheld.
Let me just ask you something. Aside from the obvious, that you believe that people should have the right to marry if they are gay, you have been together 10 years, you have 4 sons, you have a family. Why are you so deeply entrenched in this effort?
Well, Kris and I, like many Californians and many people across the country, feel like marriage is a very important thing to us. It's important to us as a couple and within our communities and within our families, and we simply want equal access to that very important social institution that everybody else has.
How do you feel about the fact, this is again tricky for people to understand because California and many other states do things with these referendums, the fact that the people of California voted against gay marriage and yet the legislators in California supported it. How does that work into your calculations, Kris?
Well, here in California, we have a very interesting problem. We have a crazy quilt of different marriage laws that apply to different groups. So, for example, right now, opposite-sex couples can get married. For a short time in 2008, same-sex couples could get married. Now we even recognize same-sex marriages from other states, but we're not letting same-sex couples get married today the way that Sandy and I would like to.
All right, let's talk about, Sandy, what happens now if the outcome of this hearing does not go your way?
Well, regardless of the outcome of this hearing, we do believe that it is headed to the Supreme Court. And so we anticipate within the next year or two ending up in front of the Supreme Court.
May I ask you, please, Kris, to tell us a little bit about your family, a gay couple married for 10 years with 4 boys?
Well, I mean, we're really fortunate that we've been able to have the family that we have and that we live in a very progressive community, but we also live in this state of California where the state is employing a discriminatory practice. It's creating a separate class for couples like us, and frankly, you know, not having our constitutional rights has become very difficult for our families, something that we're becoming less and less tolerant of, and something that honestly is hurting everyone. For the state to sanction discrimination the way that it is today is not tolerable, and it's something that's hurting everyone.
Kris Perry and Sandy Stier, thanks very much for being with us. We appreciate that. We will follow your story and the developments of this case very, very closely. Well, imagine having a degree, a family, a career when your job, your savings, and all of your jobless